Hello and welcome to an armchair edition. I'm Paul Mackay from Analogue Wonderland, and today we are going to be talking about LomoChrome Metropolis from Lomography and what the community thinks of it. Quick one before we get started: if you like film photography and want to see more videos like this one, film reviews, tips and tricks, that kind of thing, then please do make sure you're subscribed to our channel and notifications are turned on. Thank you so much. Lomography LomoChrome Metropolis is the first new colour negative film on the market for over 5 years, and it launched just before Christmas last year, so it's coming up to a year old. There's been lots of it shot out in the wild and the results are really interesting. So being part of Lomography's LomoChrome colour range, this is like LomoChrome Purple or LomoChrome Turquoise before it. This film is colour negative, so you process it in C41, but it will give you a different colour effect than a regular film. In this case, what that means is it's very desaturated, so the colours are very desaturated, but the contrast is very heavy. Darks are pushed darker, lights are pushed lighter. This gives a really distinctive grungy look. Grain can be quite prominent as well, although some people find when you shoot it at ISO 100 it's a bit less. We'll come back to that. But yeah, think of a really grungy look. This is the kind of film you'd shoot album covers in the late 90s. A very distinctive look and a very impactful look. Lomography call this film ISO 100 to 400, which means that you can shoot it across that range and still get the same effect. Now, people do notice that as you push it through to 400, and actually Emily, one of our reviewers, pushed it to 800 and got a lovely photo of flowers, which you can see here. The effect does vary across that range, and actually there was a shooting comparison that you can see here that shows the difference at 100, 200 and 400. Put simply, 400 or above will give you really strong desaturation, really strong contrast. The effect is slightly pulled back when you drop it to 200 or 100, but is still very present. Now, when I first shot my roll of 35mm back in January, the first time I shot this film, I made the mistake of thinking contrasty film, let's go at contrasty scenes. Rubbish idea, ridiculous. Of course, if you take a contrasty scene and shoot with a contrasty film, you just get blocks of black and huge areas that are washed out. So it was totally overpowering, made for rubbish images. What I would say is I would shoot at things that have a slightly more nuanced tonal range, and then the film's effect will make it more dramatic, will push something that's reasonably flat into a bit of a stronger image, which looks absolutely gorgeous. If you pointed at red items, so one of the reviewers here was in Chinatown, shot a lot on red, you get quite a vintagey look, it's a bit like Sphema colour. But if you pointed at anything else, that's where you'll get the very traditional, I say traditional, it's only been around for a year, but you'll get the typical, that's the right word, we'll get the typical look, the greys, the greens, the light blues, that kind of thing coming through really beautifully. Now, for Analogue Wonderbox subscribers, this is our first October film. You'll be thrilled to hear that we do have a regular colour negative film coming in a couple of weeks, so we will enjoy bright colours soon, but for now, think grunge. Think contrast, think desaturation. Personally, I'm going to do a portrait series, I think, with this one, possibly with a bit of studio lighting or at least directional lighting to really, I think playing around with some shadows might be really quite fun, but not, as I said, not overwhelming to start with. I want the film to really pull out some of the character from people. Interesting textures, simple, strong, still life. I think that would be really interesting. Things that won't work so well, probably, although you can always prove me wrong. Landscapes tend to look a bit more washed out. Cityscapes or architectural buildings, again, tend to be a bit bland. But anything that has a little bit of texture, anything that has people in, nighttime shooting can look fantastic. So really go wild with your imagination. Embrace the grunge, embrace the grain, embrace the fact this isn't going to look like a typical colour negative film, and let's have a look at what you come back with. If you have any questions or thoughts, then of course ping me right in the comments below what you're thinking of shooting. If you've shot the film before, again, please let us know in the comments what was your experience, what did you particularly enjoy or not about shooting the film, and hopefully we'll create some really good images together. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this short video and you want to see more film reviews in the future, you want to see more of what the community thinks of different emulsions, then please do hit subscribe and also the notifications button. Greatly appreciated as always. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching and I will see you next week.